Hi everybody, it's Stephen Brook and welcome to Architectural Photography and Composition. In our other video we talked about photographing stores and what you needed to keep in mind to prepare and the sequence of things that you need to do. This next video is on how to photograph restaurants. There's a lot of similarity, but there are also a number of things that are unique to restaurant photography that you need to think about ahead of time if you get one of these kind of jobs. So first of all, finding a time for photography can really be challenging. Most of these restaurants are open 7 days a week. And they're open early in the morning, they close late at night. And when they're not open, that's when everybody's cleaning and getting prepped and ready for the next day. And they're under the gun. Believe me, the last thing in the world they want is somebody coming in to take photographs and telling you, move out of the way, this is not going to work really well. So you are, for the most part, going to be shooting off hours. And this takes planning, coordination, and it depends on your client too. If the client is the restaurant, it's a lot easier. They're the ones hiring you. They know what needs to be done. Their people are under the manager's control. They'll get everything done for you and you come in and shoot. If the client is the architect or the designer, they are now the intercede. They have to work this out for you. They have to get the restaurant online with what you're trying to do and what your needs are, your requirements, when you need to be able to get in. And often this means your client will have to pay staff to accommodate what you need to do to get the photography done. And I have found it helps sometimes to pay some of the wait staff to help you, pay them for off hours. And lastly, you really need to bring an assistant to do a restaurant. There's just too much to do and too much stuff to move around. And it also helps to tether your camera. If you have to shoot during working hours when there are people around, that's something you have to really figure out ahead of time how to do. You can tell the wait staff, just for while I'm shooting, just have these tables, keep these open for me, whatever it is. This is some logistics you have to take care of. But knowing you're going to have some people in your shot, check this video out that I have on positioning people in your architectural photography. And I talk about what happens if you have a group of people, which you might have in a restaurant. So when you look over a job, if you're going ahead of time and you're going with your client, there's a sequence of things that you need to make sure you cover for this kind of job. The entrance, signature shot, and like the building and like any store, yes, there's always a signature shot in the restaurant. The sequence of events, again, you go over this with a designer and know how you were meant to proceed through the restaurant. This is really important. Also, there are special seating areas in restaurants. Know what they are and know you're going to have to plan to shoot those separately. The bar area for a lot of restaurants is really a big design feature. They've gone out of their way to do something different in the bar from the restaurant. And that usually will take additional planning and prep and cleaning up. Also, if there are unique design features, and we'll look at some of these in the decor, you want to try to feature those in some of your photographs. And food presentation, here's the difficult part. If you are going to have food in your image, this needs a lot of planning. And we'll talk about what you need to do to make that part of the job go really well for you rather than a horror show. So let's talk about the entrance. This is usually a branding situation for the restaurant, so their name is going to be there. When you take your photo, make sure the name, you can see it clearly. You know you can do this during the day or you can do it at night. Again, this requires some thought and some planning. If you have to shoot there's no off-hour shooting, Ask the manager what their slowest day is, what their slowest night is. Usually there is one. It's usually Monday or Tuesday if they're open Monday or Tuesday. It definitely is not Friday and Saturday. This is the Domo Japonese. This is in the design district of Miami. They put the restaurant in an historic building. And this is the old Pink House. And it's in a Savannah mansion. And as we'll see, the photographs of that restaurant, you always have to take into account that style that is Savannah. This is a Bay 13. We're going to look at a few more. Bay 13 is a restaurant and brewery, and note that their entrance extends into the courtyard. So all my people are really in just this one block, so it doesn't distract. It's not random, they're all over the place. It doesn't distract from the rest of the photograph. I have them. They're in a nice, tight, confined area. Because when they're dining, they're not going to move around because you want them to. Now, every restaurant has a signature shot, may not be the entrance. For example, here at Bay 13, what I've shown here in this signature shot, I've shown the materials, flooring materials, the Hans Wegner chairs. I've also shown the bar. And I've shown these stainless steel vats, and those are kind of the signature aspect of this restaurant. We're going to look at it. So in this signature shot, I have all three major elements. This is a view of Bakan, and this is from just inside the entrance. I'm showing seating options. We're going to talk about these as well. I'm showing the bar, it's over here. And I'm also showing some of these theme-specific decorations. This is the Royal Lafayette, New Orleans. Notice I have an axial, symmetrical shot to emphasize the elegance and beauty of this landmark restaurant. Now the sequence. In your photographs, you need to walk the viewer through this restaurant as if they have never seen it and may never see it. But your client wants to show how he or she organized the procession in the restaurant, which is so important. So here's my, this is McCann, Burton Hirsch Architects, starting outside. This is a little area, greeting area is here. I turn your eye this way, showing all of this area now. Turning back, because I'm going to take you in this door, the rest of this open area. Now we go inside. This is my signature shot. We move further back, a detail showing the glassware, opening the shot up to the right, turning to the right to show the bar, backing out, turning this way to show the little seating area, backing out more, backing out further until I take you all the way back outside. Nice sequence. Could be done a number of ways, but I took you into the restaurant, turned you, and then pulled you back out, which is how you would probably experience it. Special seating areas, these are very important. Here at the old Pink House, this house was a mansion, so there were small rooms throughout the mansion. Each one of those rooms was its own special little seating area. So it's really fun to shoot. Rather than a nice wide, rather than a big open area, these are intimate little dining spaces. So I photographed each of these, showing this. Again, I want to see the materials, I want to see the detailing, and I've done that in all these shots. This is Bay 13. Back here behind the glass, that is a special seating area. But I'm not just going to jump you into that. Same area, but I'm going to open the doors to show that these open. Now I'm going to take you inside, still looking back out. Now, when you have your dining in this area, we can close off all the doors, and now you have your own private little dining space. The bar. Again, the bar very often is a feature element. There's extra design involved, and for example, here, this is the bar is part of the open plan of the restaurant, like we saw in the signature shot. You see everything, the bar is part of the overall space. But here's the bar, and I'm showing again the bar with the vats behind it. And in the old Pink House, the bar was in its own little room, almost like a little 19th century club room. It was really very charming. And so I have a nice shot showing the leather chairs, the wooden table. This is really old world charm with this tapestry in the back. Now, unique design features and decorations, very often a lot of money is spent just on those specific aspects of the design. And even though you've shown them in other photographs, show them again in their own tight little details. So these three that we've been looking at, I'm showing the southwestern cactus with beads on it, and the lamps are from that era. In the old Pink House, old world charm, old world style portraiture, even kind of older presentations of flowers and such. And then here at Bay 13, a really tight shot of these stainless steel vats. They're really wonderful. Now, food presentation. You and I are probably not food stylists, so we need people's help to get this right. You have to decide this ahead of time. You have to decide if you're, well, it depends. A restaurant owner might definitely want to have food in there. Maybe the architect or designer doesn't care to. But individual food shots and food shots on a table, those are two different kinds of photography. The shot of the food by itself is more or less like a still life. And if this is new to you, check out some of the better design magazine, the food magazines, and see how food photographers handle this. There's some brilliant people out there who shoot food for a living. And you can decide, well, if we're going to have food, I want an evening. I want something that looks like nighttime, or I want a dessert, or I want lunch or something. You can make that decision, but let the chef do the preparation. Your job is to do the placement on the table the right way. So I have a video on still life photography. You might want to go back and check that out, because again, individual food photography is very much still life. And there are painters who have painted exactly what that is. So this is Brocha. It's a restaurant in the Miami Design District, and my client was the restaurant. So here I have a shot. The chef prepared this, did the plating, wanted it on a white plate, and because it's lots of detail and lots of articulate, I want a nice, simple, clean white plate to put it on. I have my choice, and that's what I did. Then for the shot in the restaurant, notice I have a really narrow depth of field here. Normally in architectural photography, we want max depth of field from foreground to background. In this case, I don't want to do that. I still want to focus on the food. Well, and my client wanted to do that. So I have the food in really sharp focus, and I've let the rest of the restaurant go soft. Here, nice tight shot of the lamb chops. This is the style of the restaurant to serve on this style of placemat. So I'm up above, angling slightly down, and then here is my shot in the restaurant, and I've laid these other elements out almost graphically. I'm still focusing on the food, and the rest of this just surrounds it. And then lastly, this dessert, again, this is the same placemat that they like to use. I have a I'm basically using their light, and I have just one card that's just like a little filler so the shadows don't go dark on me. You have to be really careful with food. If it gets real contrasty, it can start to look not like food. So, and then I've set it up, same thing that I did here, I set it up with just parts of the restaurant slightly out of focus as background, just to make a nice graphic shot still featuring the food. So clearly, timing and coordination are paramount to do this kind of photography. Hours are going to be limited. staff are going to be under pressure to do their work. Do you need to work all that out ahead of time? Plan ahead. If you have to photograph during open hours, think about where the people are going to be. Maybe there's one time a day that they're really slow. Maybe that's the time you have to go in. Take an assistant and tether your camera. There are 1,000 things to do. You don't want to have to be doing them yourself, fixing, running back, and tether your camera anyway. Work with a chef if food's required. You check that out with them ahead of time. Know that restaurant photography can be difficult. It can be tedious. It's time consuming, and at best, it can be disruptive to the wait staff and the prep staff. So know that ahead of time. Be prepared and be patient. So I think this is helpful. Please give this a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, I want to ask you to please do that. It's free, it's going to stay free. So the other thing that you can do, if you have been watching this channel or one of the subscribers, and if you haven't purchased a copy of the book, first of all, $9.95, I don't think that's a lot these days. We kept the price the same for a book that has all the information you're ever going to need to do this at a professional level. This will help support this site. Again, not asking for donations. I'm asking you to consider making a valuable purchase for not a lot of money that will give you immeasurable benefit in your architectural photography and will also help support this site. Now, if books are not how you like to learn, or people don't, we have a course that goes through everything we've talked about and more, and puts it in a way, in a teaching style that some people prefer over a book. Fine, we have that for you. Also, if you are starting a business, running a business and having some issues, or even if you've been around for a little while and would like to see maybe I can make some improvements along the way, this course on mastering the business of architectural photography will be invaluable for you. We talk about everything in there, especially how to get clients when you don't have any clients. I want you to know that you can acquire clients comfortably if you do the right things ahead of time. Now, if you want to do something, you can purchase both of these together. And if you do that, we will give you the copy of the ebook on architectural photography and composition. So you can buy both the fundamentals book, the fundamental course, and the mastering course, and we'll toss in the book. And again, I think at $99 for both courses and the book, I think this is a bargain compared to everything else. And I guarantee you, all of these materials will help you to do professional quality architectural photographs. So thank you again for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.